I'm Edie Lush from Hub Culture, and I'm here with Paul Holthus, who's the founding president of the World Ocean Council. Thanks very much for stopping by. We're at the Monaco Transition Forum. You'd never know it, but we're next to the sea. Tell me, what do you think the biggest challenges are that the ocean faces at the moment?
Well, overall the biggest challenge is climate change, which is really affecting the state of the ocean, and the ocean itself is changing because of that, for a whole range of reasons due to warming and acidification, etc. But coupled with that, we've got an ongoing series of human impacts from land-based sources such as nutrient runoff and pollution and plastics, of course, which is on everyone's mind, most of which comes from land. But then there's a series of impacts from economic activities in the ocean, from energy development and exploration, from shipping, from all sorts of other activities, fishing, aquaculture, etc. But there's a lot of good news in association with the economic potential of the ocean as well.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the economic potential that you think the ocean has. And there's some really exciting things going on here. Let's start with energy. Where do you see energy production coming?
Right. So we have, as a global society, we've depended a lot on oil and gas, and about 30% of that still comes from, and increasingly will come from, the ocean, from ocean areas. And so that's a reality. We need to think about how to understand that and minimize those impacts, and that's a part of the future of the ocean and its use. But the important, exciting part is the use of the ocean for renewable energy. So there's tremendous wind potential. So wind energy in general is growing greatly, really expanding rapidly, and more of that is offshore, and more of that is moving further offshore. And so the exciting future for wind energy is floating wind platforms that can be further offshore, and in countries that don't have the shallow areas like in the North Sea area where so much of the wind energy is taking place so far. The big developments are going to be in other parts of the world with this new floating offshore technology. There's also great potential for wave and tidal energy that's still got some R&D levels of work to go on.
Is the issue around tidal and wave energy, is it still around the storage and transmission?
It's more about the just developing technology hardware that can withstand the ocean conditions.
Right.
Yeah, and so there's some good pilot projects out there that are coming on the commercial scale and starting to feed into grids. But it's really just about developing the mechanics of it that can really stand up to the wear and tear of being in the ocean, and then deliver over a long period of time. And that's what the investors are looking at, some real prototypes that are delivering on that. And there's some exciting developments that link, for example, wave energy with desalination that'll be really appropriate for small isolated villages in Indonesia and Alaska and Cape Verde and places like that. So that's really, I think, the important link between sustainable development, energy development, and the ocean.
What about the oceans as a source of food? We've heard a lot about species extinction. We've heard a lot about sustainable fishing, those kind of things. But there's also, there could be, in a world that's looking for higher protein, there could be a solution in the ocean, couldn't there?
Right, and so the role of the ocean in providing protein to hundreds of millions of people, particularly in developing countries, is enormous, and needs to grow and expand to keep up with population growth and with increasing income. And so the appetite, literally, for seafood is expanding. And so we need to have fisheries that are managed for sustainability, and there's some great progress being made. There's still some significant challenges, but there's a lot of work that's gone on the last decade or so that's really delivered on sustainable fisheries in different parts of the world. And then there's aquaculture, so fish farming, which as of a couple of years ago became more than 50% of seafood production. And so it's increasingly the dominant portion of seafood supplies. And there are, again, a lot of challenges, but as with energy, fish farming is moving further offshore. And so using the natural systems,